I'm happy you're talking about Peter Obi. And you remember we had a bet the last time, and empirically I'll prove to you, sir, that I won that bet. I put it to you, I won that bet. You said, these were your words, not mine. That showed me a video.
The opinion of those who watched us.
No, hang on a minute. Wait, let me finish. Mr. Ulasi,
you know what people said?
I'm a man of facts.
Okay,
let me land.
Go on.
Your words, not mine.
Okay,
you will resign from the PDP if I can show you videos of you criticizing Peter Obi in the past. In fact, I have too many videos of you criticizing. In fact, not only me, Oseni, Aneni, Chief Aneni's son, also brought out some videos of you criticizing Peter Obi in the past. If you want, maybe you can send your number to your producer to me.
Please.
Through our producer to me, and I will forward you those videos. But wait, I've not even landed on my question.
Information, please. Yes. Information in all communication. Once I say information, you give me a few seconds.
Yes, please.
When we had that discussion, I told you that I criticized Peter Obi on one serious occasion when he left PDP and went to Labour Party. I did mention it, and you forgot to say that. I mentioned it in our discussion.
Mr. Danulasi, the videos of our conversation are there. People will watch and judge. But let me move on to my real question. Anyway, I have a lot of... Let me move on to my real question. You are now saying that this is the same Peter Obi that you are saying that if he runs today, he has 30 to 40% of the country. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you said it just now. Maybe I didn't hear well. Maybe I have to remove anything in my ear. He said it just now, right?
That's what I just said, yes.
But I want to read a newspaper caption to you, where you said, where you warned the Igbo people leading up to the last election, that voting for Peter Obi in 2023, you said during that he has no strong political base and we fail woefully in his presidential bid. He said Peter Obi will succeed in securing the Igbo block vote from traders. He said this vote will not be enough to make Obi president, and he could set the Igbo voters up for attack for opposition. But the word I want you to underline there is that he will fail woefully. So how come a man that you said will fail woefully, but that got over 6 million votes, that won Lagos, which is not only an Igbo voting area, and won some other parts of this country, is now the one you are saying that if he joins the PDP. And which PDP do you want him to join? This pen PDP you people claim is finished, that Wike rules now. And you are saying you want him to... It's not a political suicide. Don't you people just want to destroy him politically by luring him to the PDP? That's my question for you, sir.
Well, this is not a question. It's a lecture you have just delivered.
Yes, it's a question. Don't you people want to kill him politically by saying he should come?
Excuse me. You see, you're becoming violent in your speech. Why don't you ask a question, you make a clarification, and allow me to make a comment? This is exactly what you did in the last interview. Your views must always prevail. I have a reason, as the person you're questioning, to give my views. And my views might not always be correct. That's why I'm a human person. What I said in that interview you're making reference to is that Igbo votes alone will not make Peter Obi president. And we don't have to make a presentation as if an Igbo man running for president. He's running for president from an Igbo extraction. That was the explanation I was trying to make in that interview. And anybody who comes out to run for presidency of this country does not come out telling us I'm a Yoruba man, I'm an Igbo man, I'm a Fulani man, calling for his people's vote. That will come in situ. So that is the explanation in that interview you are making reference to. So if the paper you are quoting did not represent what I said properly, it's unfortunate. I don't know which paper you are quoting. But all I have said is that in the past, we were with Peter Obi in PDP. And he ran as our vice presidential candidate. We attended a meeting with him in Oka, where he told our people that he was going to run for presidency. And not long after that, he left us without consultation and joined the Labour Party. People were bound to be annoyed. That's what I was saying in my interview. And that involved criticism, that you must be able to have some principles of relating to those you are working with. About 3-4 weeks ago, he was in my house in Enugu, and we were discussing the same thing. I said, in all things you do, give proper information and communication to those you are discussing with. Don't take anybody for granted. Because people have laid a lot of, sacrifices, a lot of resources down in this journey. Rufai, that was what I was saying exactly. And in such doing, you have to criticize. Politics is about criticism, even if it's your brother or your mother running. But it doesn't have to be, maligning somebody's character. No, you have to point out what shortcomings somebody has, especially if it's not working with you anymore.
Very good. My question to you is, aren't you people leading Peter Obi to a slaughter slab by calling him to come and join a PDP that Wike has pretty much taken over and prevails over? That's my question to you. Aren't you people deliberately leading him to a slaughter slab? Well,
yes, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. You see, when you make a statement that Wike has taken over PDP, he hasn't taken me over. He's my friend. I have serious disagreements with him when we don't agree. Even in the national executive meeting we attended, we had 2 national executive meetings in the past 2 months. There are a lot of people who don't support him. And he knows that. There are a lot of people, the national chairman doesn't support him. He might be friendly with some of us, but the national chairman hasn't left his seat as national chairman of PDP to go running after Wike. Wike wants to be in control, but I had told him, you cannot be working for an APC government and try to tell us what we'll do in PDP. One will have courage to tell a friend that one. It does not stop him from doing what he wants to do. And until we have a convention, what we're having in November is what we call mini convention. There will be no election. There will be no offices sought for, so that we don't create any problems before our major convention next year to bring out a presidential candidate. It is only when next year comes, because Wike had already said that he will support Tinubu in 2027. He will remember the futility of that statement when the convention comes next year, and we want to bring out a candidate and he interferes.
Chief,
then you will see that what I'm telling you is correct.
Chief Ulasi, I asked you,
yes,
you are now focusing on Wiki. Now, the PDP had a 119 member committee led by Governor Fintiri of Adamawa State, where the decision was taken to zone those positions. And there was a report indicating that, okay, so positions have been zoned this way. The bone of contention from the Wiki group is that they are saying that the next chairman, substantive chairman of the party, should come from the North Central and that there should be no micro-zoning. Whereas other leaders of the party say, no, there's nothing wrong with micro-zoning for us to have peace within the party. Where do you stand?
Well, I said, I thought I mentioned something like that when I started commenting initially, that in the next meeting we had, we said, if we have a contestable convention this November, the time is so short, it will bring a lot of, animosity within us. So we just do a normal midterm convention without running for any office until next year. So between now and next year is a long period of time. Like the party has zoned presidency to the south. It is likely, most likely, that next year the chairmanship of the party will come from the north. Which part of the north the party will also decide. These are not constitutional matters of Nigerian constitution, but these are the discussions you have to, bring, some kind of understanding within the party. There's nowhere in the Nigerian constitution that is specifically mentioned about zoning, but it talks about national representation, national interest, which means that every part of this country should be given an opportunity to be part of the system. That is what it means. No part of the country will take presidency and you take a governor, you take a vice president, you take speaker, you take a president of senate. That would be unfair. That's what I'm saying, I'm talking about.
Thank you very much.
I beg, audience, my viewers, now will be the judges who wanna be the judge who won this battle between Rufai Oseni and Dan Ulasi. If you could remember, some months ago, this argument on this channel, television, Arise News, where they had this argument, Dan Ulasi said, when he was criticizing, at that time when they were trying to get Peter Obi, when Atiku newly resigned from PDP, at that time, everybody were trying to get Peter Obi to PDP to get the ticket. So when Dan Ulasi came on air at that time, this channel, he said, at that time, he was not praising Peter Obi, that Peter Obi was the best, Peter Obi did a lot, Peter Obi did very well, did better than all the governors in Anambra State at that time. That they want Peter Obi to come back is a plus advantage for them. Peter Obi comes back to PDP. So Rufai now put it to him that you were the one who were criticizing Peter Obi during that 2023 presidential election, that Peter Obi didn't do well, nobody should vote for him. What suddenly changed? Why are you praising Peter Obi now, saying that Peter Obi is the best among all the candidates? Dan Ulasi now changed mouth to say, if anybody, Rufai, could provide a video where he criticized Peter Obi, that Peter Obi never did well, he will resign. So it's then the argument, the video went viral at that time. I did the video. Now, since then, this is the second time, or this is the next time he will come to this channel. Now, Rufai is put it to him back again, put it to him again to say he won the battle. Because a lot of people provided evidence, videos that time. Even me, when I did the video, a lot of people sent me videos where Dan Ulasi were criticizing Peter Obi on that presidential election. So here is a judge. Now, you are the audience, you are the judge. So, judge, what do you think? Leave your honest opinion, your honest comment. Did you have any video in the past 2022 where Dan Ulasi criticized Peter Obi of not performing as Anambra State governor, then as the governor? What do you think? Now watch the video. Now please leave your honest comments, opinion, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you get to see audit videos like this next time. Be your guy runner for me. Please subscribe.
PDP. The party now is back. The governor is back. Even if they still say it's not been located yet, it's still an unidentifiable flying object, but hopefully in good time it will show up now that normalcy has returned in that state. As a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, how do you feel about that? And then second, this whole point about PDP, back to a good stead and all of that. Well, there's the big issue of the November convention, which particularly your good friend, Minister Wike, is saying that if his directives are not followed, that there will be trouble. And that in fact, people thinking of President Jonathan coming back as flag bearer of the party, they may be preparing the battleground for serious crisis within the PDP. But let's start from Rivers, and then we'll move to the party itself.
Well, I have personal reasons to be grateful to God that the situation in Rivers State is eventually, coming to a very peaceful resolution. which I thought in the first place, I told you that there was no reason for this to have happened in the first place. Because I had always said that we don't operate democracy in this country. What we operate is, civil rule. Tell me how many people in this country, since you got matured politically, that have come out of their own desire, with their own financial support, and started either as councillors or chairmen of local government or members of state houses or assembly, or national assembly or governor or president. There's always some tendency for you to cling on the apron string of some people. And that is the danger of the style of democracy we are holding here, because you don't have an independent opinion. But what happens in this country is that people continue licking the boost of or whom they call their godfathers, and as soon as they see power and money, they say to hell with you. And this is what causes crisis in most of the time. Because a Nigerian, typical Nigerian man, regards everything he does as business. And they put millions and millions of naira and sometimes dollars into this business of governance. And that is why nothing works. Because you get into office, instead of helping to develop your environment, you continue sharing or paying back to those who have made you to get into where you are. And once you look and see that not enough is left for you to really do some job, you still remain in. That's why nothing is going on. Go through 6 months ago, I went through about 17 states in this country. And Dr. Abati said, pity for you to watch a governor going to work. A governor leaves government house to attend a function in the same city. And there are about 40 vehicles on a convoy following him. Do you know the amount of money that is spent in that kind of movement? And they don't care. Nobody's interested. So our problem is so fundamental that it requires some reassessment of values, if we have any. People come from rural areas. I haven't seen the son of any big man, either Awolowo or Zeke or Bala or Ahmad Bello, that is governor. So incidentally, mean that the children of very poor people from very poor environment somehow manage to be members of houses of assembly, national assembly, governors. Why is it that when they enter office, they hate their people so much that they can't even provide water, ordinary water? How do you look at that kind of situation? So sometimes you want to give up, and I don't think that giving up solves the problem. So when I was in PRP, 1979, I was a national advisor to Malam Aminu Kano. I was just as vibrant as Rufai, my friend, is. But somebody called me to say that Nigeria is not a function of statistics. That was why Zeke said in 1974 that ethnicity should become, a national instrument, an instrument for national unity, if people will accept that. Because if I recognize that you're from Edo, I'm from Anambra, you're from Sokoto, I will understand the differences of your people, and we put these differences together to understand each other and use it for national development. But once we use ethnicity as a basis of divide and rule, opportunism, then nothing works. Right. So that's what I would say, that PDP is part of a Nigerian system. And all persons who come there want to have an advantage for their people's, gain. And in doing that, we forget that authority rests on regimented formality. That if you combine political ignorance with unresolved, unresolved grievances, then they have political blindness. Right. We have to have an understanding that we are one people. Difficult to, but we have to try to do that. Okay. I have known you, Dr. Abati, for how long now? You called me on telephone when you were working with Goodluck Jonathan. We didn't know ourselves. From then we become friends because we have an understanding. And each time I came to see Jonathan, and I asked him, why do you always invite me? He said he invite me because I have the courage to tell him the truth. Right. In this country, nobody wants to listen to the truth. Sometimes they think you are doing some mago-mago when you tell people the truth. You tell people what they want to hear, and still the new collapsing. That is where we are today. I hope my colleagues in political offices, as governors or whatever they are, should start to remember the Nigerian people. We have no other hope but ourselves to help us.
All right, thank you so very much, sir. I believe, Dr. Abati, second question around rivers, I would love for you to answer that question. But beyond that, my question would then be based on your statements that you tell the truth. Can you tell the truth this morning around the chances of the PDP at the next election, and who could potentially be a viable candidate for the party to compete favorably with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as incumbent?
Well, I'll answer that question, my sister, by telling you that only God will answer that your question. To say whether PDP will have make the presidency in 2027. Only God knows who will be alive tomorrow morning. And I normally make that statement. I then take assumptions that are beyond my control. We have hope or desires to want to do something if God wills. So if PDP survives, as we're trying to do, in the last national executive meeting we had, almost 7 of our governors were there, and it was refreshing that everybody is now talking how to, discussing how to reorganize the party, put it in a stronger footing for 2027 and other subsequent elections that are coming. Okay. So I don't know who the candidate will be, but the party has zoned the presidency to the south.
Yes.
And if there is honesty, like you said, yes. And hold on, if there is honesty, they should micro-zone it to southeast, because virtually now we are the only zone, theoretically speaking, that have not had a presidency.
That's a very important
this dispensation, and maybe northeast too.
Okay, that's a very important point. That means that from your truth, Southeast ought to get the ticket. It means you've eliminated President Goodluck Jonathan as a potential candidate for the PDP, if you were to suggest. And maybe perhaps Peter Obi, who has been touted as maybe coming back to the PDP, might be a candidate for you. Or we hope, of course, and believe with the will of God that we are alive tomorrow, based on what you said.
Well, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gives everybody the right to contest. The Constitution did not talk about, even though they talked about national representation, making sure that every part of the country is represented, involved in what's happening. But something like leadership, running for a public office, you don't force anybody. Sometimes you zone it, and you might not, every zone, I believe, have some capable people to run the affairs of state, either at the state level or national. But when you force people to want to do something, you might not produce the best results. So first and foremost is that there must be desire, there must be willingness, for people to want to make a contribution before we then said, oh, other people will come to support them if they find they have a viable candidate to do. So in terms of the presidency for 2027, I believe Peter Obi so far has no platform, to the best of my knowledge. He ran last time with Labour Party. He's attended the launching of, what do they call it, ADC. So I don't know what his platform will be. I'll be happy if he joins PDP, because he will bring his credibility to bear on the party as we are reorganizing. I mean, he's not a name you want to introduce in Nigerian politics. Any party that has him today, we know that they have already made more than 30-40% of the election, because he has tremendous support across this country.
Okay, Mr. Ulasi.
Baba, resign. Tender your resignation letter. When are you going to resign? Because Rufai won that battle. When are you going to resign? Damn, Ulasi. Baba, resign. This is what these people say. Because I could remember that video that time. I could remember that interview. I did the same video. Do you know how many people sent me the video of you where you criticize Peter Obi? Where you criticize Peter Obi? How many videos? Do you know how many people sent me that videos that time? Do you know how many people? You say you resigned. If anybody presented any video where you criticize Peter Obi, we did. We were waiting for your resignation. PDP, you never did. And today you see repeating the same thing, as if the journalist was the one who misquoted you, who misquoted you. You see, these people, this is what they do when they have been caught. Like they started looking for escape route, started looking for somebody to bring of their statements, of their lies. You lied. Now Peter Obi is the bride of the day. He's a beautiful bride that everybody wants him. Now you now remember that Peter Obi is a good person. Is it not because of his antecedents, what he did, the performances in Anambra State, that is making reference to him, and what he did? He shook everybody in that 2023 presidential election. Nobody ever believed that Peter Obi was going to do like that. He was going to perform, he was going to get that massive support. And if election was free and fair, mandate was given to the winner, Peter Obi beat all of them hands down. Peter Obi won that election, but because of, say, we live in Nigeria, that we don't have free and fair elections, that it was given to another person. If we have a judiciary that truly represents what institutions judiciary should represent as it works in other countries, Tinubu wouldn't have been validated the president of this, because he didn't win the election. In every country's judiciary, they are blind to issues. They are blind to political parties. It is only in Nigeria you see their eyes are wide open. The highest bidder takes it by force. Judiciary, every other country, but it's the last hope of a common man. They are blind to issues, blind, especially parties. They are blind to all political parties. They don't have to. They are not politicians. They don't play politics. But in Nigeria, their eyes are wide open, looking for the highest bidder to give mandate to. That was just what happened then. Now look at the quote that they just read it for you, what you said. Now they say it is not you. They misquote you every time. It's only in Nigeria. After everything, they're looking for a journalist to bring who presented or pull out the video that he was the one who doctored the video, who edited it. That was not what he said. This, that. A lot of issues. We know them. Anyways, you should resign. Well, Peter Obi should play a smart game. And I think I understand that by November he will be announcing to the world that the party he's contesting from by November. So we are watching not in November. Peter Obi is going to shock all of them. He's going to shock them. They'll be disappointed. You see, I know Peter Obi is coming out with what we don't even expect. So I just want to see, and I hope it's not going to be a disappointment to us though. So let's watch and see. As they said, by November he will be announcing to the world that the party he's contesting from. Let's see how it goes. So November is it. But as for these people, I pray it shouldn't go to PDP, because if it goes to PDP, that won't the party that Wike controls. I don't think so. Anyways, Wike do not have the power do not have the capacity to just everybody. No, it's just that we live in a country. Anybody who truly believe in a good governance, who truly believe in the countries, in the democracy, or to make this country work again, they should know that Tinubu does not deserve a second term. They should know. And Wike is not fighting because Tinubu is working. Wike is only fighting for his position to complete 8 years, added to his CV, his political offices. He's just fighting for that, to say I did 8 years, I did 8 years. That is just it. It's not because these people have anything to offer. If they do, we would have seen it by now. Yet 2 years after, Nigeria is still going through these pains. Nigeria is still going through this probably hardship. So it doesn't make any sense. Think about it. Anyways, and Wike is not, if all of them truly come together, if not because of this coalition, if not because of this coalition, no matter how divided PDP is, and they decided to give PDP, well, if not because of coalition, though, Atiku wouldn't have resigned. So let's put it that way. If not because of coalitions, Atiku wouldn't have resigned. Atiku would have still be fighting for PDP, a ticket. That it is his turn, it is his birthright. But if they are not found that these coalitions, and even if Atiku is still there, Atiku decided to step down and give the ticket to Peter Obi under PDP, it would have been a total disaster for APC. APC would have been, no, just put them to where they belong. Even if Rufai is still with them, since Rufai fell out of APC, at that time Rufai will not be under APC. Is either he joined PDP or he joined SDP, and SDP cannot even compete with PDP. Do you understand? That would have been the game. But it's unfortunately that they formed the coalitions to unseat Tinubu, and who is going to take the leadership of that coalitions, or which we don't know yet, and time will tell. Let's watch and see. Anyways, what do you think about Dan Ulasi? So Dan Ulasi should go and resign, and they accept his mistake. Okay, I said that, okay, it was wrong. Just apologize to Peter Obi. That's all. Finish there. What do you think? Please leave your honest opinion, leave your comment, and like, share, comment, and subscribe. Be your guy. Run out for me now.